What if there was an alternative to eggs that tasted just like eggs, but without using chickens' bodies, without supporting any of this?
So artificial chemicals.
No, plants.
Plants.
The egg industry.
Oh, the egg.
And you know what they're doing right there?
Making nuggets.
You know, since males can't produce eggs,
Right.
they're completely useless to the industry. So what they do is they grind them up alive once they're born, because they can't produce eggs, so they can't make the egg industry any money.
So they just kill them, just to kill them.
Right, exactly. And they're just not turned into anything because they're not the same kind of chickens that are made for meat, animal flesh. Yeah.
So what would be a better use for them?
A better use for the animals?
Yeah, like for those chickens. For you, what would you think?
I would say the best thing to do is just leave them alone and let them live and not use their bodies and take away their freedom in their life.
That's a lot of chickens.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's to meet the demand.
Right. As humans, we consume a lot of meat and eggs, make a lot of things with eggs.
Right, we grew up eating them. They're in everything.
Yeah.
Baked goods, scrambled eggs, all that stuff. This is the little chicks that just hatched.
Okay.
And so what they're gonna do is they're gonna put them on this conveyor belt to sexers where they define, I think it's based on the feathers, where they pick apart the male and the female, and then, you know, they grind up the males and then they keep the females.
Okay, of course.
Do you know what they do after, like, once they get the females separated?
No.
These hens are put in such stressful situations. It's completely unnatural to them. Since they're put in these stressful situations, they start to peck at each other, which is not natural, and they start to fidget. They're really, really stressed. So what the industry does is take a hot blade and chop off their little beaks so that they can't hurt each other, which to the industry is their profit, so they can't damage their goods, you know. Do you think this is right to do it to innocent animals?
That's a tough question. It's very hard. Obviously, we still have to consume something. You know, we are very dependent on the industry nowadays. I mean, people cannot just have chickens in their backyard anymore.
The very urban lifestyles,
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, people here in the city cannot just have chickens, so they cannot have their own eggs. That's why I was asking you what would be a better solution. But, I mean, I think, in my opinion, a better solution would be just have a certain way to control how much humans consume. That way there's actually a way to control it. For example, I don't know how many eggs you eat a week. You count.
Right, people eat a lot of eggs. Yeah, I don't.
You don't, right?
No,
we don't
I
really
don't.
count how many eggs we eat. I mean,
I used to eat a lot before I was vegan, but
Oh, you're vegan now. Okay.
yeah, I used to have quiche and all that kind of stuff,
Right,
and
I
baked
mean,
goods, you know,
good.
omelets. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it just I try not to eat as much anymore, but at the same time, I still consume. Which is hard, you know, in a way to actually try to have a way to control how much we consume as human beings. It's almost impossible.
What if there was an alternative to eggs that tasted just like eggs, but without using chickens' bodies, without supporting any of this?
So artificial chemicals.
No, plants.
Plants.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of plant will you actually...
You can do a lot. So there's Just Scramble, which is really good, and it's in a bottle, and you just pour it in the pan or use it in whatever. There's also Just...
It's a plant?
Yes, it's made from plants. I believe it's made from mung beans. Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really good.
I haven't tried this, so I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's at King Soopers. Of course, you can get it at Whole Foods. I believe it's at Walmart now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, Target as well. There's also tofu scramble as well. That's pretty basic. And you do spices, nutritional yeast to make it kind of cheesy flavor. Black salt has a sulfur flavor that gives it that like exact replica of eggs.
Okay.
It's crazy. There's also the vegan egg. It's like in the baked goods aisle. It's in like a little egg carton, but it's powdered, and that stuff's really good too. Or a chickpea scramble. And you just spice it up the same way, however you like them. Add tomatoes, onions, whatever you like.
Okay. I mean, it will be... It's hard to just get rid of all completely... I mean, like you said, you know, kind of leave them alone, but if you think about it, what are we going to do with all the chickens?
We're not going to go vegan overnight. You
No,
know what I mean?
I know, but like, let's say in 20 years.
Right.
Everybody goes vegan.
Okay.
What are we going to do with all the chickens?
So as we go vegan,
Right.
it's a gradual process. So the demand's going to is going to lower. That means they're going to supply less of these animals, less of these products. So it's going to be less animals being brought into existence to solely be used for their bodies.
Okay. I had chickens growing up, and they usually, they were about, in a week, I used to collect about 20 eggs. And if I would have left them out,
they would just build up?
They would have been like 20 chickens, and it takes about 2 weeks, I think, 2 or 3 weeks for them to hatch. So that's 20 chickens. Now, again, in another month, I would have another 20 chickens.
Right, it would just add up.
So now I have 40 chickens. What am I going to do with all of those?
So when we take the eggs away from their hens, they have a natural brooding process.
Okay.
And so what that means is they want to keep their eggs. No, they want to keep their eggs, basically.
Okay.
It's kind of like, it's just their nesting thing.
It's a mom thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's their instinctual, biological thing. So every single time we take their eggs, it forces their bodies to produce more eggs.
Right.
So it's just kind of like doing that to them. Obviously, the egg industry is completely different than backyard eggs.
Please remember that their bodies, even when living in someone's pretty backyard, do not belong to us. Chickens are not machines. Backyard eggs are just as bad as factory farmed eggs because commodification is just as much of a crime as cruelty is.
Because it's more of a demand, whereas backyard eggs, there's not so many people buying from that person who's doing the backyard eggs.
I mean, they inject them to keep producing them.
Right, exactly. In the egg industry, they keep them in such dark sheds. Even if it's free range, it's just all dark, which puts their bodies through even more stress, which apparently causes them to produce even more eggs at a more unnatural rate. Back to the backyard egg thing, they still are producing more eggs as, you take them away from them because it's just instinctual for them to do that. And sometimes, I don't know if since you've owned chickens, I don't know if you witnessed, sometimes they'll eat their own eggs to get back the nutrients.
Hi, this is Ed Hammerly again with my chicken coop. I wanted to address an issue that we're having here that's rather significant. Trying to show you how we're dealing with it. We're having a problem with one of our hens continuing to break eggs and then eat them. This is a serious problem because obviously we want the eggs to eat for ourselves.
Leave me alone when they let the bugs down. Leave me